Hi, I'm Brenda Hines, and I'm with Keller Williams Realty in Franklin. I've compiled some relevant real estate statistics for Williamson County, and I'm going to be going over them and telling you what I think they mean for you as a potential buyer or seller. Now, before I review the statistics, let's talk about why they may be important. If you're a buyer, it's important to understand the climate of the market. Let's say that you're hoping to purchase a home in what is a strong seller's market. It's important to be prepared mentally, and it's also important to have a strong offer together, like with a letter of pre-approval, so that you have a better chance of winning that offer. If you're a seller, it's important to understand the condition of the market so that you have patience and that you have understanding. It helps you not get frustrated if you don't get an offer as soon as you think you should, and it also helps you really evaluate the offers that you do receive. So let's start by looking at Williamson County in general. And the variance that you're going to see on all these slides is comparing 2014 to 2015. You can see that there's an 11.3% increase in the number of units sold, and there's about a 3.5% increase between the average sales price and the average price per square foot, while the number of days on market's gone down 5. So let's start with Brentwood. And if you look at these statistics, you can see that between 2014 and 2015, it was relatively stable in terms of price increase, as well as the number of days that properties were on the market. And you might look at this first and think that maybe Brentwood is slowing down. It's important that you look at statistics from a variety of factors before you make any kind of decisions about the market conditions. Even then, they change monthly, so you have to stay on top of it. But while we're here, let me take the opportunity to point out that sales price ratio that I have on each slide. If you see that ratio, you're going to see that in each of these cases, it's increasing a little bit. Now, the sales price ratio is the ratio of the sales price to the list price. So that means here in Brentwood that in 2015, the sales price of homes was 98.4 of the list price. That's a pretty strong margin. If we look at Franklin, we can see there's a little bit more of an increase here. The number of units sold and the average sales price are both up about 7%, whereas the average price per square foot is up nearly 5%, and the number of days on the market's down 3. Now, when we look at Nolensville, we can see a little bit of a shift here. You can see that it's very strong. The average sales price is up 13.9%. The average price per square foot is up almost nearly 10% as well. And the number of days on the market has been reduced by over a week. Units sold is also up, so 9%. But something that we really want to point out here is that sales price ratio. It's up 2.9%. But not only that, it's more than 100%. That means the average home is selling for more than it lists for. That's pretty significant, and it shows growth in that area. So now let's take a look at Arrington, and this is really interesting because the average sales price is up 18.7%, whereas the average price per square foot is up over 10%. But when we look at the number of units sold, we realize that it's less than 1 a week, and the average days on market, although it's gone down nearly 2 weeks, 13 days, is still 106 days. So that means that all those sellers in Arrington are realizing a significant increase in value of their property. They're having to wait more than 3 months for it to sell. Now that's not bad, but that's not an extreme seller's market. So it'll be really interesting to see how growth and value in Arrington continues as the years move on. Now, we've talked about some really hot areas in Williamson County, but can we collectively say that they're a seller's market? No, you really can't make that generalization because you have to really look at the specific price points within the market. Now, let's take a look at some specific price points. If you remember back a few slides ago, we saw that between 2014 and 2015, the most stability in pricing had been in Brentwood. But if you look at this chart and apply the basic principles of supply and demand, it makes you wonder how long that trend will continue. If you look at the price point between $300,000 and $375,000, you'll see that the months of inventory are 0. If this is your price point and you want to be in Brentwood, it means that you need an aggressive agent who's on the ground searching for properties before they ever hit the market. Even at $375,000 all the way up to $850,000, with the exception of a brief bump at $750,000, we're still in a seller's market. At $850,000, we go into a buyer's market, then a neutral market, and back to a buyer's market at $1.2 million. So let's talk about that $750,000. What does that mean? It could mean nothing. In this case, we want to look at a trend over several months in order to make sure that this trend continues. Now, what do we do with a slide like this? It means that we can't stay stagnant. We have to continually look at these statistics month after month to see when we see a shift in the statistics and we see a new trend developing. So now let's look at whether Nolensville is really a seller's market or not. You can see at the price point between $300,000 and $350,000, it definitely is, with less than 1 month of inventory. But after that, it stays relatively neutral and even starts trending toward a buyer's market. As you can see, it's really important in each city to really look at the specific price point you're buying in. And if you're buying new construction, you always want to check the values to make sure that whatever you're building will continue to appreciate. Now, we can also break real estate statistics down on a month-by-month basis, in this case comparing January of 2014 and 15 against January of 2016. And this is all of Williamson County. We can also break it down on a city or an area basis as well if you're interested in those statistics. Just let me know. But you can see that between 2016 and 2015, the increase in the number of units sold was 22.4%. Now, that's pretty outstanding, since historically January is not a great month for real estate sales. But there are a couple of different factors here. Remember, in 2015, we had a really bad winter and an ice storm, so perhaps that played into it. Another factor is that 27.6% of these sales in January were new construction, so that also may be relevant. But an important number to look at is that the average days on the market went down over 2.5 weeks, 19 days, and the average sales price increased 3.5%. If you'd like further information or specific statistics for your city or your price point, don't hesitate to give me a call. But to really understand the value of your property, it's best to do a competitive market analysis. I'll provide CMAs from a variety of programs, and together we'll sit down and evaluate them in order to understand the current market value of your home. If you're interested in buying or selling a home anywhere in Middle Tennessee, I'd be glad to put my skills and enthusiasm and experience to work for you. Even if you're interested in buying or selling a home anywhere in the world, I can help you through my Global Property Specialist Network. Whether you're buying or selling, it's important to have an agent who's knowledgeable, experienced, and who communicates with you well so that you can work together as a team to help you accomplish your goals. When you hire an agent, you also hire a team. Keller Williams is the largest real estate franchise in North America and one of the largest in the world. Not only that, but we have one of the best training programs across any industry. Again, I'm Brenda Hines, and as an accredited buyer's representative, as well as a certified international property specialist, I'd love to put my skills and experience to work for you. Give me a call today. Thanks for listening.